Happy Friday Eve day to everybody. You know how I like to do things around here. I've got Facebook and YouTube right here on my laptop using StreamYard. YouTubers, I want you to smash that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos. You guys, I'm excited about the weekend. I hope you are too. This weekend, we are going to travel to Knoxville, Tennessee to a family wedding. So let me know in the comments what you've got going on this weekend. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Let's talk about coaches in the online space. And I'm talking about myself and the advice they give. Some is great, some is not great. How do you know the difference? And how do you trust yourselves to make decisions? And I'm going to ruffle some feathers today. I just have a feeling. But first, in case we've never met, I am Tracy Beavers. I'm an award-winning business and sales coach with over 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business growth. And several years ago, I got finally completely fed up with my corporate career, and I hatched a plan to fully exit. And once I did, my business boomed. And in my second full year of business as a coach, I busted through the six-figure ceiling and I haven't looked back since. And I share that with you because if you are building your business alongside a full-time job and you're wanting to fully exit, or maybe you've already exited and you're building as a solopreneur and you're wondering, when are you going to get to the income you want? You can do this. You can be just like me and build a multi six-figure business just like I have. I have coached hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you to get visible, grow your email lists so you can get that consistent monthly income that you really want. And funny enough about today's topic, but I also want to mention, if you're thinking you want to hire a coach to guide you and roadmap those priorities and strategies, DM me or email me. Let's set a free coffee chat and talk about how coaching with me will skyrocket your business growth. As we go along, you know how I love for you to pop your questions and comments into the chat for me, and I will check all of those at the end. I'm just so grateful that you're here. And if you're watching on replay, comment with a question. I will be happy to swoop in and answer it for you. Okay, let's talk about the coaching industry in this online space. Coaching is unregulated, and it feels like the wild, wild west. When you're considering hiring a coach, I want you to proceed with caution, and I want you to do your homework first. Make sure that their values align with yours. Make sure they have the experience and the success themselves in what you're working to achieve. They should be able to tell you the very clear path they're going to take you on after you talk to them. After you visit with a coach that you're considering hiring, if you come away with more questions than you have answers, that's a sure sign that that person either doesn't know what they're doing or they are not the right fit for you. You should be able to say, I know exactly how this person is going to help me. All right, let's talk about the hot topic of certification for a second. It's not required. This industry is unregulated. The big debate is a certification necessary? And my professional opinion is it depends. You do want to look for a coach with experience relevant to your specific needs and goals. And I'm probably creating a lot of controversy, even bringing up the topic of certification. So don't come at me or fire me for this. I say it depends because it depends on the person and their experience. Now, you know that I have over 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, and business development. I did not feel that I needed a certification, but I got one because I wanted to be able to say I was certified in case anybody asked me to. And honestly, that certification I paid for, waste of money. I did not learn a single thing that I did not already know, but I have the certification. So if anybody asks, yes, I'm certified. But because I have more than 20 years experience in marketing, sales, and business development from when I was in corporate, coupled with years now here in the online space, my experience, in my opinion, is more valuable to me than any certification. Now, having said that, if I was completely pivoting into something like, let's say, health coaching, I have no experience with that. I would feel like a certification would probably really help me with the right program. I think that would really help me make sure that I know what I'm doing. And I have, and also if you don't have any experience coaching, a certification can be a good thing to do. All right. This next bit is where I think I'm going to ruffle some feathers. I'm kind of poking the bear here. Are you ready? Coaches are not always right. I'm going to repeat that. Coaches are not always right. It's their opinion. And you know this, you're going to find opinions on everything in the online space. Here's some examples. You have to run paid ads to be successful. No, you don't. You can do organic growth and before you go to the paid ads. Okay, there's an argument for that. You need a website. You have to have a website when you start your business, or you're not going to be successful. And then you can talk to somebody like me who was determined to make it without one. And I made it 18 months before I felt like I really probably needed to get a website. But you don't even need a full-blown website, right? But there's two opinions there. Okay, here's another one. You need to be on social 24/7, or you're not going to get the visibility that you want and the audience growth that you want. Then you're going to find coaches that will say, no, you don't have to be on social 24/7. How about this one? You have to launch with a live webinar. There's an argument for that. And then there are other coaches that would say, no, there's a million ways you could showcase your offer, right? So I want you to remember to build authentically to you. If you've hung out with me for any length of time, you know I am all about two things: authenticity and ease. Business growth does not have to be a struggle, and it needs to be authentic to you. So I want you to build authentically to you, doing what is best for you. I'm going to share with you some real life examples of entrepreneurs that I know personally that got tangled up in some coaching advice they received. Are you ready? These are real life examples. Okay. A coach told one of my clients, who's a travel blogger, that she either had to market and talk to either families or singles in her business, not both. This coach told her she needed to niche down or she was not going to be successful. And here's the thing. In talking to my client, this didn't feel good to her. But because this very successful blogging coach said it, she felt like this person was automatically right, and she didn't trust herself on that decision. And when we talked through it, she said she wanted to do both and wanted to figure out a way to do that. And in talking through it, the reality is that families nowadays come in many forms, shapes, and sizes, from a family of one person with maybe a dog to a family of 100 people, right? She ended up feeling very relieved and happy that she could find a way to do what she wanted to do, what felt authentic to her. But think about if we hadn't had that conversation, she would have possibly made a big mistake in her business and made a decision that didn't feel good to her. All right, here's another example. And as I go through these, I want you to throw in the comments. Can you relate to this? Or maybe you're feeling this right now. Here's another one. A coach told one of my students that unless she was going to email her list once a week, every single week, she didn't need to bother building a list. What in the world? I was like, holy cow, hold on. Now, I do agree, for the record, that best practice, this is my coaching opinion, and recommended strategy for nurturing your list is emailing once a week. However, if that is not something that an entrepreneur has the bandwidth for right now, then find what works and start with that. The consistency is what you need. 2 times a month, 1 time a month, it's not an all or nothing thing. But just think if she had just stopped building her email list altogether. All right, here's another one. This is a juicy one. I was on a coffee chat with a gal that's a member of a membership that I'm in. She had her course completely done. It's done. It's ready. She told me it was fire. And based on what I know about her, she's right. It's going to be awesome. And I asked her, I said, tell me how you're going about promoting it. And she said she didn't think she could because she didn't want to launch, because she didn't want to do a live launch. She saw all the work that went into a live launch and she didn't want to work that hard. And that's being very honest. A live launch is a ton of work. So I said, well, how big is your email list? And she said, over 3,500 people. And I said, well, are they highly engaged? And she said, yes. And she shared with me her open rate. And I said, why not make this easy and just email your list? Maybe give them a small discount if they purchase in the next 48 hours, just to get some traction, just to get some proof of concept, some money coming in, some excitement, some testimonials. Do you guys know she told me she never even considered that and she thought it was brilliant? And she completely relaxed. Like I could see her on Zoom like completely exhale. It took a load off of her shoulders. She got really, really excited because she was keeping she was keeping her course hidden because she was given the impression that a live launch was the only way to sell her offer. Here's another one. I got a couple more of these. One of my students was completely overwhelmed creating social media content because she had been told she needed to do a full week of content every week by a coach. Well, all right. Okay. Best practice and hashtag goals, right, is to be seen every day on social. But again, is that realistic for everybody? Not at all. We talked about it. And when I told her she could dial this way back to a few days a week with the caveat that she could stay consistent with that cadence, that's the consistency part, she would actually see more visibility and traction than if she tried to do 7 days, 1 week, completely exhausted herself, stopped doing anything at all, then tried again a few weeks later to do another 7 days and was completely sporadic. She was super relieved and she felt like she could actually do that. All right, here's one more. One of my clients has an awesome course, but nobody to sell it to. And she needs to go back to the foundational piece of growing her list. So we're creating 2 lead magnets to do just that. And a coach mentioned that she needed to make her lead magnets so good, so juicy that people couldn't believe she was giving it away for free. And here's the thing. I agree. I agree with that, with a caveat. This statement ends up keeping people stuck in overanalyzing and thinking that their knowledge isn't juicy enough. The truth about lead magnets, that's the highest goal, right? That it's so good, people can't believe that it's free. But is that normally your first interaction, the first iteration, the first attempt at a lead magnet creation? No, it's not. But that thinking keeps people stuck and not doing anything at all. Create a good lead magnet. Let's build from there and create one with sparklers and fireworks on it later on when you've got more market research, more conversions, and you understand your audience way more deeply. So here's the thing. In all of these examples, I truly believe that these coaches meant well. I really, really believe they did. But what they failed to do was meet their clients where they are. Listen to their clients and help them craft plans and make decisions that were authentic to them. So what do you do the next time you have a coach that gives you advice, gives you a suggestion, an idea? And I mean, even if I am your coach, because if you know me at all, you know I will never claim to be perfect. I am not perfect. I will never claim to have all of the answers. No coach can. And I want to hear from you so I can best help you get your goals met. So here's some things we can do. I want you to question the advice. Think about what was shared with you. How does it feel to you? How does your gut feel about it? And evaluate the advice. Don't just take it at face value. Just because someone is more successful than you, further along than you, doesn't mean they know everything. I want you to check the authenticity of it. Do an authenticity check. Does this advice align with you, your values, your goals, the way you want to build the business? How about a personal fit? I want you to remember that just because a strategy worked for somebody else, like a live launch, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. The live launch example, let's talk about that. The live launches with webinars and masterclasses are not for everybody. Some people need to do their launch in a softer way. Some people want to put their offers on evergreen and run ads to them. We do have to be willing to try some things to see what's going to work for us, but we also have to trust ourselves because we're smart people. You guys are smart people. And remember that the best coaches empower their clients to make their own informed decisions. Sometimes as your coach, I'm going to take the reins and I'm going to lay out best practices and I'm going to tell you what to do, in my opinion, if you ask me to. Other times I'm going to do this, then we're going to review it together to see what to keep, what to tweak, what to toss out. You guys are smart people. Maybe you haven't ever built a business before, but you have done many other things in your life that you had to learn from the beginning, right? This is no different. It's really not. I want you to trust your gut, your voice, your intuition. It is there for a reason. I want you to pay attention to your gut feelings about the coach and the advice that was given. I want you to stay true to your voice and your authenticity in your business decisions. Trust your instincts, trust your knowledge of your own business more than any external opinion, whether that's from a coach, a mentor, an accountability podmate, a business bestie, Reflect on the advice before implementing it to make sure that it aligns with where you want to go with your business vision. And along the way, I want you to watch for these red flags. If you feel pressured or uncomfortable with a coach's approach or advice, is there an underlying agenda to it? And I hate to bring this up because I always believe the best in everybody, but listen, you guys, sometimes there is an underlying agenda in what that coach is telling you to do or suggesting you do. Let me give you an example. The first coach I hired recommended only Kajabi as the platform for your website, your course, your email list, all the things. Come to find out, she was an affiliate for it and made lots and lots of money recommending it. Underlying agenda, right? That didn't feel good to me. Here's another example of something that I totally fell for a few years ago when I didn't know any better. There was this coach that was in a few groups that I was in, and she was sounding the alarm, literally. Like I was like, wow, she's really sounding an alarm with her comments. But about how Facebook groups were dead and that Facebook wasn't supporting groups anymore. And she was so convincing, you guys, that I screenshotted some of her posts and comments and I sent them to a few friends of mine that are Facebook certified experts. They are certified. So they know probably before any of us do what's true for the platform and not. And they all said, yeah, that's her agenda because she teaches other methods and she used this alarming scare tactics to convince people to follow her and sign up for her coaching. And I was like, what in the world? Let that be a lesson to me. And it truly opened my eyes. And it was kind of made me a little cynical too, but it truly opened my eyes and helped me realize that I needed to keep on my head on straight. And what helps me keep my head on straight at times like this is to do what we talked about just a second ago. Periodically revisit my vision, my goals, my mission, so I don't lose sight of what's authentic to me. I have to remember that I've got a compass, and it's my intuition. I want you to prioritize what's important to you in your business. This also helps filter out the noise. And sometimes a list of pros and cons on something is really handy and helpful for me when I'm navigating anything new. I find that not only can I see it on paper, but as I work through the list, it helps my intuition kick in that much better and my gut feeling kicks in, and then I can easily see what the best choice is. I have a dear friend, and her name is Tharwit, and she used to say this to me all the time, and other people that she helped. Be an energy snob. Be an energy snob. I want you to be selective about where you get your information, who you listen to, and I would rather you follow a few trusted sources than trying to absorb loads of information from lots of different places. Sometimes that can make us more confused than anything else. And then take time to reflect. That helps me when I'm making a decision here. But I don't want you to misunderstand me. You can't take weeks to reflect, or you're never going to make a decision and achieve anything. But if the answer or your intuition when you're working through something feels foggy, set it aside for 24 to 48 hours. Chew on it, process it, pray about it, then come back to it, reflect on it, and then you'll know you're making the right decision. Remember, just because a coach says it doesn't make it true. Coaches are only human, and you're going to find opinions on every side of the coin when it comes to building a business. I'm going to hop over and check out your comments. I'm so excited that y'all are here. Oh, let me see what everybody's saying. I love it. Carrie G, thank you very much. That is so sweet. Teresa, yes, I didn't say your name, but yes, I was talking about you in our conversation. Stacy said that coaches can forget their views may have worked for them, but they won't work for everyone, which is why marketing is so important to make sure you're talking to and drawing in your people. Yes, correct. And she also said even a launch can be done the way that works for each business owner. Absolutely, you guys. Absolutely. All right. So here's what I want you to do now. If you're not a member of my free Facebook group, called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Get Visible, Grow Your Email List and Your Income, join us. It is a beautiful community of collaboration and support, a place where you can ask the tough questions that will help you make the best decisions. We've got experts on every topic. It is so cool. And here's the thing, the members in our group, they lead with their heart. They're a lot like me. They're warm, kind, supportive, want to help, They will never claim to be perfect or have all the answers, but they sure are going to share their expertise with you when you need it. So search for Be a Confident Entrepreneur in Facebook, or hit the link that we've got in the comments, or if you're on YouTube, it'll be in the show notes. So be here live with me every Thursday at 11:30 Central. Put it on your Google Calendar, set a phone alarm, and you hear me say this every single week, and it's important. That's why I say it every week. Don't go it alone. Being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. Sometimes you lose your compass. Sometimes you lose your way. You need other people around you in a community of support that can help you get your compass back, help you get right back on track. Because some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling and you have the biggest launch you've ever had. Other times you launch and it's to crickets. But if you feel like you are alone in feeling that way, you are not. I am here to tell you you're not. And that's why it's so important to be in a community of support and encouragement and collaboration. I want you to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And I want you to remember that when one of us rises, we all rise. So we have got to keep cheering each other on. I will see you guys next Thursday at 11:30.